Okay, we are live. Hello, everybody. My name is Bahzad.
My name is Risa.
And we are here from Naked and Famous Denim, and we are here to welcome you to Naked and Famous Denim Day, which is live stream day, which is Friday, which is today, which is now. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. It's been a while. 2 weeks off. Well, not really off. We were out and about around the world doing a little bit of a world denim tour, preaching the good word, the gospel of the Selvedge denim stuff, as we do with you guys every week. But of course, we had to take that show on the road. I'm just still early for me, so you're gonna have to help me rev up my engines, warm up until I get all my thoughts in a row here. But it's good to be here with you guys. I missed hanging out, and I appreciated. Some people were a little worried that something happened to us or something. So they're, what's going on? Yeah, anyways. For those people who cared, I care about you too. Care about you too. And that's not to say that everybody here didn't care. It's just that you guys knew that we were on the road. So, good to see a lot of familiar faces here in the crowd. We got C. Sanchez in the house. Ola from Los Angeles. Nick Viplu is in the house. Good to see you. Andrew Furusawa, hello. Hey, my fellow SoCal peeps. And Penning New Name says, hey, I missed y'all. Well, we missed you too. Kevin Gill, hello from Long Beach, California. Currently wearing my 18-ounce big slubs. I'm looking forward to the MIJ 13s. When can we expect these? Saving my pennies till then. Great question to start the stream.
Yeah.
I'm going to say by the end of this month.
Yeah.
By the end of February. We just hit February. It's February the 2nd. And we're going to... I can't believe it. Already 1 month down.
Yeah. Insane.
I can't believe that I've already... It's 2024. I'm not even used to saying 2023. They switched it up on me too quickly.
And then 1/12 is already done.
Incredible. Ian M. fading my elephant 12s today. Also snagged the Undyed this morning. Super excited for the E-Crew. That's right. We just released the Undyed let me see if I can pull it up here. The Undyed Frankenstein denim just dropped today on Tate and Yoko. Tate and Yoko, Undyed Frankenstein denim. These guys just came out today. So if you were lucky to snag a pair, we hope that you enjoy them. We've got lots in stock. I really stocked up.
Yeah.
I really stocked up this season, and I just also put our order in for fall winter 24. Stocked us up. I want to make sure that we don't have, as much as I like sellouts on day one, I just want to make sure that everybody can get what they're looking for. So anyhow, Undyed Frankenstein available now. Not available in the Super Guy, unfortunately. We ran out of fabric, but that said, we have all the other fits available and the denim jacket. We didn't talk much about the denim jacket in the video. I think I might have forgotten about it a little bit. Anyhow, it's here as well. So you got a lot of great options here. I know that it's still a little bit not springy outside, but E-Crew denim can be worn all year. I don't think that it's a seasonal thing anymore. I think it you can wear it in the fall, you can wear it in the spring, you can wear it in the summer.
It's not white.
It's not white.
Yeah. It's E-Crew, so it's easy to match up with like a wintry outfit.
So check it out. Available now at Tate and Yoko, Naked Famous Denim NYC, and Naked Famous Denim retail partners worldwide. Check out the Naked Famous Denim blog post on nakedandfamousdenim.com. Full listing of retail availability right there. Okay, that was a little commercial. Pending new name, I'm wearing my Giorno Giovanna True Guys and a lot of color coordinated accessories. I want to see some fit pics posted on the Instagram with some more JoJo stuff. I want to see more. If you're rocking some JoJo outfits, put them up. I want to see them. Shang Style, are you helping Garrett to release the vlog from New York City? For those people who don't know, when we were in New York, we did a little meet and greet at the shop. It was a great event. A lot of people showed up. A lot of people from the live stream showed up. Great to see some familiar faces or some familiar usernames. A lot of our friends came up, and it was a really wonderful event full of raw denim joy. and we will post up a video. I'm going to have it available for Sunday. Garrett just sent me the file. I'll have it available for Sunday morning for most people who are tuning in from the North American time. So that'll be coming up soon, so you can see what happened during the New York adventure. Didn't really cover our Paris adventure, but there wasn't much adventure.
Well, yeah, everything was in and out. Like even New York, it was a little bit more chill because it wasn't a trade show situation, or whereas in.
Yeah, do you want to explain?
Yeah, so we went to Paris for a trade show, and we flew in, set up the show. We flew in. We left like at night here in Japan. Flew for however many long hours. We did the
14-hour.
14-hour, and then like we did a transit. So like the entire trip was like 17 hours or something like that. And then we got to Paris. It's noontime, morning time, I guess, late morning. And then we went to, in Paris, nobody lets you check into your hotel before like 3 o'clock check-in time. So and they really don't. Like, in the States, sometimes like they let you in if the room is ready. And if it's a large enough hotel, like usually there's at least one room ready. So it's not an issue. But like in Europe, I've never had an early check-in out of the kindness of hotel people.
Never.
It's bizarre. Anyways, they stick to the schedule.
I've been to big hotels in Paris, like chain big hotels, hundreds of rooms, and you'll show like check-in might be at 2, and you check it, you're there at like 12:30 or 1, and they're like check-in's at 2, and I'm like, I know that, but like
I just flew like across the world
overnight.
Just give me a break,
right?
Anyways,
I want to rag on the French a little bit there for that one, because come on, let me check into my room. And like, I'm sure the hotel people are used to it, that a certain time of day, this is when all the North Americans or like the Japanese people show up, because we all have to fly at night. So we fly at night. We're tired. Nobody sleeps on the plane. You land. You have to go from the CDG airport, Charles de Gaulle. You get yourself into Paris. It takes an hour, no matter what. It takes at least an hour to get into Paris from there. You get to the hotel. You're exhausted. You've got your bags, and they're like, yeah, the room will be ready at 2. I'm like, yeah, but I know the room is ready now. I just know. I know it is, because there's lots of rooms here. And one time, Brandon and I, we would not accept that answer. And so they're like, we can hold your bags. We're like, yeah, we're cool. We're just going to sit here in the lobby. And we just made ourselves known that we were like here to annoy them. And then they still wouldn't let us in. And anyways, we were happy to annoy them for a while. This last time, same thing. We were like an hour early.
Yeah.
Get to the hotel, and they're like, the room's not ready. I'm like, just the room has got to be ready by now. Like, just the leeway time. It had to be ready. So they're like, we can hold your bags. I'm like, I'm too tired to walk around the city. I'm like, can we just sit here in the lobby? And they're like, okay. And so we sat right there, like across from them in the lobby. And then like 35, 40 minutes into them just kind of being annoyed by us just sitting in the lobby, they're like, oh, your room's ready now. I'm like, yeah, it was ready 40 minutes ago. I know it was ready 40 minutes ago because nobody... nobody walked out. It wasn't a huge hotel, but like, there wasn't like people walking in and out. And anyways, rant. Yeah. Let us check in early.
Mini rant. But anyways, we were, we got in, we dropped the bag off, we, rested a minute, and then we went out to set up the show. We were exhausted by that point. We would grab a dinner, and then we just go straight to bed early. And then just the next 3 days was a blur because it was a good show.
Yeah.
It was a very busy show.
Right.
We had appointments, and we also had a lot of walk-ins. So we handled the show very well. 3 days, takes down the show. Minor issues here and there, but that's okay.
Nothing we couldn't handle.
And then the next day we left Paris.
Picked up, early morning flight to New York. Landed in New York.
So basically,
went to our hotel. Was able to check in early. And
Yes.
you know what? Let me shout out the good people at Marriott Hotels.
yeah, that was Sheraton.
Sheridan.
Yeah.
Sheridan.
Rebecca.
Sheridan Tribeca.
Yeah.
Is that a Marriott brand?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
so. Because the Marriott, like, we signed up for Marriott,
Yeah, yeah.
the reward
Right.
system there.
Let me shout out to these people. Because not only we arrived, like, 11, 12-ish in the morning. They're like, oh, hey, welcome. Oh, here's some free water. Oh, here's a free breakfast. Here's some free drinks.
They came out with the spinning wheel.
They gave us the wheel, and we could spin to win some free. Just saying, American customer service, I love you. I really love you.
Yeah.
And so not only did we get our room early, the person at the hotel was super nice, gave us a whole bunch of free stuff, and no problem.
Yeah.
No problem. Paris, I don't know why you can't figure this out.
Yeah.
America's a 6-hour flight away. I will pay for if there's just one person who's in charge of being a jerk at all of the French hotels. I will pay for you to go to New York. Just go and see how they treat people at the hotels there, and then go back and say, hey, you know what? It's actually counterintuitive to be a jerk. Just if you could learn that, I will pay for you to learn that. Whoever you are, if you're watching in the live stream, maybe you are. Hit me up in the DMs. Mm-hmm. If you're in charge of that for France, I'm happy to pay. I'm happy to get you up to speed with that. Anyways, that's enough for me ragging on the French people.
Yeah.
Not the people. Just I like the people. It's just customer service and the hotels there. They don't seem to know what's going on. Okay, back to what we did.
Yeah. So, anyways, the moral of the story was that, we got to New York, okay, and because in New York we showed at the store, our store in Soho. So we had a little bit of time to hang out with the store staff. We were, we had Garrett come in
Mm-hmm.
from Montreal and meet us there, and we just had a good amount of people in the store, and then it wasn't all busy because it was all appointment based, and we would hang out and we would talk to some walk-in customers that are customers of the store, but anyways, we had a little bit more chill vibe in New York, as opposed to Paris. So Paris, we were just go. Nobody was taking photos. I probably took one photo.
Yeah,
one
the entire
single
trip.
photo.
Yeah.
But New York, at least Garrett was diligent enough to take footage of our trip. So that was great.
Yeah. Over the years, there's just a lot of trips where not even one photo was taken.
Yeah.
It just you. And it seems weird maybe to some people, like you travel to a different country and you're like, I didn't even take out my camera once. It's happened at this point. It's just more uncommon to take a photo than it is to not take a photo.
Yeah. But you also, I don't know. It's just the excitement wears though. It sounds bad, but it's like we're there for a business. So it's just like.
It's true.
Yeah.
And
in the beginning, early days, we were younger. Right. And we were also very fresh and excited. So even outside of the business, we would have energy to go out and enjoy and all of that.
Yeah. To be fair, in New York, we got to go out a bit. We got to have dinner with our friend Michael, the Iron Snail. I got to see him a little bit. We got to hang out with the good people over at Standard and Strange, the good people at Over the Rainbow, and Gerhard Supply in Toronto as well. So every night there was something going on, which was fun. Paris is a little less so, but I think we were more jet lagged at that point.
And also, in New York, as some of you might know, we had a little meetup.
Yes.
So we got to hang out with some of you.
Many of you. It was a great turnout. A lot of friends showed up for that one as well. Nick Stridewise came out. We got to see Alberto. He's the upstate style guy. I got to meet him. I've been chatting with him on on Instagram and stuff for a while, but we never got to meet in person, so we finally got to meet in person there as well. Just a lot of great people. Anyways, you'll see it in the video. A lot of people turned up. It was a lot of fun. And so, that was...
It was hectic, though. That day just went by, and I feel like there were people that I probably talked to that I recognized the username here,
right,
but maybe not recognized in person.
Perhaps. Yeah, sometimes I know usernames better than I know real names. But yeah, that's I guess the way the internet works nowadays. But most of our days in New York were, we'd be at the store at like 10, and then we would go until 7, 8, and party time. I was like 9, 10. So most of our days were like pretty long. But we're back now. One thing, you'll notice it in the video. I'm just going to point it out now just because I noticed it because I watched the video that will come out on Sunday. I wear the same outfit, like, just nonstop. Yeah. I really just wore the exact same clothes every day. I did change. I have undershirts and stuff on, so those all changed. But I wore a hoodie and the same jeans, the same shoes, and the same jacket every day. Just would not. I'm just like, that was it. My hair was getting a little grizzled. Yeah. It was near the end of the trip, so anyhow.
Yeah, our laundry situation was a little dire. And then, you were wearing that zip jacket that was really... pulling your outfit together.
I think so.
So you were just kind of stuck to it.
Right.
And when you don't have to think about it, it's the best.
It's a lot easier that way. Yeah. Well, that was our little trip. You'll see it more in the video. Well, you'll see the New York part of it in the video. So that's what we've been up to over the last 2 weeks. All right, let's check in with the chat. Venomous Teddy says, do Japanese hotels allow early check-in?
I don't know. Do they?
I've never had a problem checking into a Japanese hotel. I've never had a problem where they said you can't check in now. The only place in the world where I've ever had that problem is France.
But also, most of the time that you fly into Europe, no matter where you're coming from, apparently,
it's nighttime or it's early
morning time. Right. So you tend to arrive at the hotel earlier in the day.
Yeah. Whereas Japan, you're usually here in the evening time.
Right, yeah.
That said, a fun fact about many Japanese hotels is that they charge by the person.
That's going away. Yeah, like that was a thing of the past. Yeah. You understand that came from like the culture of ryokans where like you it comes with the food. Yeah. And your bed is the futon. So like if there's 2 people, then the person has to put down 2 futons, separate ones, and then you have to feed you for 2 people, and those food are like a big part of the cost. Right. So that came from that, and then in the hotel it doesn't make that much of a sense.
Makes no sense.
And I think it's starting to go away because people were just confused about the fact that like it's just literally if you put 2 people instead of 1, like the price doubles
for the same room.
Yeah. And it's probably not acceptable. Yeah.
So anyhow, that's definitely caught some people off guard in the past. But yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe it's a little bit less so these days. Mm-hmm. Okay. Adam Brown writes, Hail adventurers, I've got kind of a large question. So I just rinsed my 15th anniversary jeans after wearing them for about a month, hoping they would be less starchy, and they still seem very starchy. Well, a soak isn't always going to take all the starch out, so it might take a little bit more soaking or washing to do that. A machine wash will certainly get much of it out. If you hang dry your jeans, the sun will bake them up a little bit, so they'll get a little bit crispy there as well. So it's just going to take a little bit more wash, a little bit more wear for that starch to come out. Adam Brown writes, what kind of starch do you use on these? It's usually cornstarch. So cornstarch happens, the way it happens is when the yarn is spun, they use cornstarch as kind of an adhesive to make the yarn strong enough to withstand weaving. And so that's where the starch actually comes from. And usually, most companies will rinse wash garments, things like that, and that removes the starch from the fabric, so you never actually have to deal with it. But of course, with raw garments, it doesn't go through that rinse wash. Generally speaking, it doesn't go through that rinse wash process, so the starch is still in the fabric. It's not like a spray starch or something like that you would, a dry cleaner or somebody would use to like crisp up a garment. It happens more on the yarn side of things than the garment side of things. Cheddar Buttersworth writes, customer service is different in La Belle France. Just a little bit. Anyhow.
To be fair, this time we had a couple of restaurant meals for dinner, and both times it was okay.
Yeah.
It was good.
It
was okay.
They were fine.
It wasn't like above and beyond.
Right.
But
we didn't have... Well, one place was mega busy, so the waiters were a little slow. But, like, in France, you can absolutely expect your bill to come, like, 30 to 40 minutes after you ask for it. Dude, I've been in restaurants where, like, it's literally an hour for them to come and give you the bill. And you're begging for it. You're like, I want to pay you. I want to give you my money. Can I give you the money I owe you, please? And they're like, look, we're busy. And I'm like, okay, I understand that, but I want to pay.
Yeah. And, in that case, like, I mean, I'm not going to say it's okay for you to not pay, but it's just like, I understand. Some people have to go somewhere.
Like, you feel like you're a hostage in this situation.
Yeah. It's funny because when I was in California, I was, like, working at a restaurant under the table. I think it's,
it's okay.
Over 10 years ago, so that's fine. Anyways, there was one, like, it was kind of like a lunch place. So when it's lunch rush time, like, it was very, very busy. And, sometimes, like, people have to wait to get the bill, get the attention, and then, get the actual bill. And at one point, like one of our repeat customers, like, that's always there, he just literally walks out, and we're like, wait, that guy didn't pay. Yeah. And it was just like, but in a way, like, it was just like, okay, well, like, maybe we didn't, like, give him stuff quick enough. And then he came back. He didn't pay extra for the time that he didn't pay, but at least he was like, continue to be a customer. It's like, I would not come back to this restaurant if I, like, even if I had to, like.
Maybe he didn't realize it. I can imagine somebody feels like they paid and then they just get up and leave.
He was a grumpy person, so I don't know.
Anyway, that is a pretty ballsy move.
Right? And he didn't even, like, apologize or anything. Like, he just, like, he sat and...
Yeah.
Did the same thing.
Right. Did I talk about... There was a ballsy move. I don't know if I talked about it in the last live stream. But there was a little thievery at the New York store a couple weeks ago. Anyways, I don't remember if I talked about it. But, like, and speaking of, like, these two guys come in and, we're watching it on the tape. And, they look like denim guys. Raw denim jackets and stuff like that. They look like denim guys. So... I guess there was no need to feel like this is out of place or anything like that. Sometimes you can tell when someone is... Sometimes you get the feeling. Like, you just know. Like...
Yeah.
Especially when they're wearing masks in the store and they come in a group. Yeah, trust me. That ain't a good situation. But... and I'm not talking like 2020 masks. I'm talking like, we're here to rob you masks. Anyhow... Dudes walk into the store, they're greeted like normal, take a look around. And on the hemming table, there's some jeans that have been cut and that are just, prepped for hemming. Dude just takes a pile of jeans. There's like two or three jeans there. Takes them and goes. Just took them and left. And it's just like, so when our shop staff, like, I guess he was helping a customer, comes back to the table to do the hemming. He's like, oh, I thought I had jeans here. And he's like, scrambling, trying to figure out, like, did I deja vu that? Did I really do it? And we checked the camera. No, buddy just took them. And it's just like, it seems like a raw denim kind of customer guy. I'm like, I wonder if this person would ever show their face again in the store.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I wonder, I'm sure it was a surprise to these people that
they were hemmed?
Yeah.
Or like not even
cut.
hemmed yet, they're cut. Yeah.
It's like, what is... But...
it's just odd. Like, what are you going to do with these jeans? They're random sizes, random styles.
Yeah.
And like...
And it's not in the brand new, like, you know, condition, like a condition.
Yeah. Like, what, like, are you just going to toss them? Like, what are you going to do? And like, the resale value on these, like, it's going to be very, like, random sizes and random lengths. It's not
finished.
Yeah.
Not finished. That's my point. It's like, it's.
I just hope this guy reverse steals them and, like, comes back into the store one day.
Like,
or like, you know, goes to the change room and just, like, can I try these on? Try something on. Oh, no, it didn't work out. I just left them in the change room and, like, scoots off and you're like, oh, wow. Like,
these jeans. But it sucks because in that situation, the customer already paid for it.
Oh, yeah. It's such a huge pain.
Yeah, so it's not the same thing. It's not that either way is fine, but like if you steal something that hasn't been sold, we're the only victims.
Yeah.
But if you steal something that somebody already decided to buy and paid for, and that's gonna be, you know, that's gonna affect them as well. So it's really not great.
Not cool. So anyhow, if you are watching right now, do you mind turning yourself in to the police so we can have you properly charged with theft of jeans? It would be greatly appreciated. I don't believe in the like, oh, return it, it's all good. If you do return it, great, but I still will be. I would pursue this. I don't think it's cool. I don't think it's cool. Just scoot on down to your local police station. Let them know. I can get the I'm sure we have a case number. You know, you have to report this stuff. And yeah, just check yourself in, and yeah, we can have you properly charged. It'd be nice if we could do that, and if you could assist, chef's kiss. Also banned from the store. You know what? I'm just talking about banned from the store. Sometimes people don't realize that they're banned from our stores for one reason or another, but we do have a list of like banned customers, and you know, we keep canceling their orders, and like, why are my orders canceled? I'm like, we don't answer them. And yeah, don't steal. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah. We do not tolerate.
We don't tolerate it. And so, yeah, if you want to buy your jeans, you could buy them somewhere else. In fact, I would encourage you to not shop with us at all. Go bother somebody else. And then, you know, if you want to be a jerk to them, I'm sure they'll treat you the same way as we have. But, yeah, that's it. Okay. Ian M. writes, so I just wanted to mention this, and this might start a Bahzad rant. I love a good Bahzad rant. So I apologize. The Raw Denim subreddit has been so hateful towards Naked Famous Denim lately. Wish there was a Naked Famous sub just to share on. Oh, that's okay. Look, waves. That subreddit comes in waves with the love and the hate. You know, sometimes all it takes is someone to post one thing, and then the wave of whatever comes through, and then you get some great photos of some faded jeans, and all the love comes rushing in. That's the nature of forums in general. Obviously, everyone has a right to their own opinions, whether or not I agree with them or not. We're all entitled to that.
Yeah, and the thing is, we're still part of the conversation.
Yeah.
When we don't even are not a part of the conversation, that's when we fall off the community. So it's a sign that we're still relevant. Yeah,
you get people who complain about this brand because they're too expensive, and then you'll have people complain about that brand because they're too entry level, and why would you spend money on that? And the reality is, here's the reality. Most of the people in that forum are, as far as their denim knowledge, are amateur at best. That doesn't mean anything. I mean, look, there are people who are professionals in this industry who have a lot of experience. This is what we do day to day to day to day. And there's people who casually enjoy a hobby. And so their perspectives are going to be that of a casual enthusiast. And then you have some people on there with big mouths who think they know a lot, and they don't. But, it's not my place to, like, berate. I don't want to berate anybody. I might have done it in the past, but I really don't. I don't want to do that. It's not a fun game. And, sometimes I think letting people talk, that's the best way. Let the sun shine, disinfect any wrong thinking. If you think our products are, less than because another brand is, has X, Y, and Z products, okay, cool. And then when our products come out, and my favorite part is like, when people like will criticize maybe like a basic item, Naked Famous, they make entry level stuff. I'm like, no, we make a lot of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. We make a lot of stuff at a really good price point. And some people can't, like, they don't know how to work that out in their brain, where it's like, well, this is a $160 jean, and that other brand's jeans are like $400 a pop, and it's like $400 a pop. I'm like, oh man, those ones are better. I'm like, well, they're also much more expensive. Much more expensive. I'm like, those are not bad products. They're more expensive products. But I'm like, you're not comparing the same things here. If you want to like compare our top tier to somebody else's top tier, let's go. Let's have a fair fight, right? And I think we'll come out on top. But of course, there's room for debate there as well. But like, let's be real here. The products that we put out, the price points that we put out, like, there's something for everybody. And if you're a hater, to me, if you're a hater, you're just a hater. Like, you're upset that we've how can I say it? Shaken up your image of like what raw denim is supposed to be, and that's fine. But when we go around the world and we talk to and we hang out with all the retailers, the best retailers in the world that sell the most jeans, and we're all having a great time. We all love the products that we make, and we're, I'm like, and we got the live stream here with all the people watching. Like, I think I know where our, like, I'm not going to listen to, like, the criticism. That's not, like, you listen to criticism, but you have to, like, listen to it from, like, the perspective of, like, how much do I respect that opinion, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have to filter out a constructive criticism from, like, just hateful ones.
Yeah.
I mean, both of those exist on the internet, and, we tend to pay attention to constructive criticism, like if there was something like, oh, like enough people are saying like, oh, it doesn't fit this way, it doesn't fit that way, like whatever, like then we're like, okay, maybe it's an issue, enough people are saying it, and we'll those are not hateful, those are personal like experiences that, or even like like a criticism of like, say our the way that we talk to customers or whatever, like if there's enough people saying the same things, like we have to go in and look to the issue and see if it's actually an issue. And a lot of the times, like those are necessary for our business to be better, improve. But like just the hateful ones that are no value in them, that we're just we can't care about those.
Sometimes people believe sometimes people believe the fairy tales that are out there, and the fairy tales are what to them make a particular thing very, very special, and it's like, I hate to burst your bubble about those fairy tales.
But they don't want to know either. They want to live in the bubble, and that's fine. That's also fine.
Look, I don't want to dunk on anybody, but it would be a very easy day if I wanted to go in and just criticize folks. Let them say things that they want. By and large, the Reddit community is a good community. By and large, there's people out there who have poor opinions of us and like to share them. That's okay. They're allowed. But it's infinitely better than some of the other forums that were around, before the Reddit Raw Denim forum popped up. menswear, raw denim wear, and some of the other forums around were, a very elite group of opinions that were maybe not very welcoming to, other ideas. And I think with Naked and Famous Denim, we brought on a lot of people into the raw denim world. We're happy to make things in alternative fits, try new fabrics out, colors, that sort of thing. And no matter what, you can criticize us as much as you want. I know this is not the community that's going to criticize us hard, but, for those people who thought, oh, Naked and Famous is like muddying the raw denim, the purity of the raw denim water, I'm like, oh yeah? Now look at the brands that you think were so pure and, in their aesthetic, and just see how much of them have turned into Naked and Famous. That's all I have to say, right? Their naming, the types of products that they produce, they're all trying to catch up. That's it. They're all trying to catch up to the kinds of products that we make. And the reality is that our imagination, and I'll say it very cockily, if that's a word, our imagination is infinitely greater than the copycats.
Yeah. Creativity, probably, rather than the imagination. I mean, it might come from imagination. But, the one thing that I really, realized, especially in coming from this trip where, we get to meet our customers, our retail store partners, a lot of our business also comes from non-raw denim community. It's easy to sell raw denim to raw denim group of people who are just, catering to raw denim customers. They're already like the products, they already signed up for it. The challenging part is that growing that community.
Converting people over.
And I think Naked and Famous does the best job at that, clearly, because our retail customer base is very wide, and there are a lot of stores where we're the only raw denim that they buy, or we're the first raw denim that they buy, and introduce their own customers to this culture. And I think that's great. I think that's awesome.
Absolutely. Even when we were in New York, we're working in the store, and the number of people who walked into the store who were like, oh, I work around here, and I've never been in here before, I need a pair of jeans. This is not a raw denim person. This is a person who's just like, oh, there's a denim store, let me go in and see what's going on. And then they went from knowing nothing about raw denim to walking out with a pair and, going through that entire, here's how you wear it, here's how you treat it, and, now you're a customer. And we do that a lot. And we do that very well because of our fit variety and our fabric variety. For how long, and still to this day, anytime we put up a stretch denim and people are like, oh my God, stretch, it's terrible. I'm like, yeah, I don't maybe stretch isn't for you, and that's fine, right? You prefer 100% cotton, that's fine. It's like if you prefer zip fly or button fly. There's no right answer, right? But for you to be like, oh, this is terrible, this isn't what raw denim is, I'm like, would you say that to the person who's comfortable wearing that jean? They were looking for the right pair of jeans, they put them on, these feel great for them, now they're enjoying them, these are their favorite pair of jeans. What? That's you that person shouldn't be able to enjoy that pair of jeans because you have an ill-informed opinion of what raw denim is supposed to be, and it shouldn't include stretch. I'm sorry, you are incorrect. Raw denim can be anything, and I'm glad that we make so many products that can bring people into the raw denim world. I don't want to be exclusive. I want to be inclusive. I want to have as much product out there as we can to draw as many people into the raw denim world. And for some people, they like having a little tight little group. This is my little gatekeeping community. I don't want anybody in. I don't want any other opinions. I don't like people wearing boot cuts. I don't like people wearing flared jeans. I don't like people wearing these super baggy jeans and wearing them differently. If you're wearing raw denim, I don't care what the fit is. I don't care what the fabric is. If you're enjoying it, you're enjoying it. Welcome to the party. Anyhow, it's definitely my favorite rant topic. Mm-hmm. You can always trigger me with this one. But I'll always have an opinion on that. Okay, let's hit the comments up. I see Shane in the house. Shout out to that New York City staff one time. That's right. Shout out, everybody. Shout out the New York City staff, because those guys, they are doing it right. They're working very hard, making sure that you guys get fitted for the best jeans.
Yeah, and they're professional.
Yeah.
And they're very welcoming. One last thing is that, like, there are raw denim stores that are established and, led this, world of raw denim, niche world of raw denim and retail side of things. But some of them are very not friendly. Like, you walk into the store and if you're not, like,
not the proper
heritage,
outfit.
Those kind of outfit, then they're not even gonna really talk to you. They're like, oh, this denim is not for you,
right? Kind
of attitude. So New York staff is the opposite of that. Tatenoko staff is the opposite of that. We all love people who have no idea about raw denim and introduce them to the idea.
And you can see from even the photos that we post of like Tate and Yoko staff, everyone's got a little bit of a different style. They wear their jeans differently. We've got everything from heritage to street. Same thing goes in New York, mix and match with raw denim and vintage. And we cover it all, right? We want everybody to enjoy raw jeans. Mm-hmm. So there you have it. Carl Murawski, the boss, is in the house. He's in the chat. Hey, dude, sorry I missed you in New York City. Sorry I missed you. We got to come out and visit you someday. We've been saying this for years, but it's gonna happen. The Carl Murawski Naked and Famous Denim in the house video. I hope to make it happen soon. Well, thanks for joining the chat. It's always a pleasure to have you in here. Okay. Let's see. Me to be writes, what's the reason for different sizing within the same fit? Oh, that's a good question. Definitely people have heard this answer before, but we're going to cover it because not everybody here has watched every live stream. So sometimes you'll see like a Naked Famous Denim left-hand twill selvage, size 32. It's got measurements of whatever it is, 33 and a half, 34-inch waist. And then you look at like a weird guy elephant denim 32, and it has a 33-inch waist, or maybe it has a 34.5-inch waist, whatever. There's some kind of size variance even within the same fit. So weird guy size 32, measurements from one product are different compared to another product. Well, the thing is that it's not just our brand. In fact, it's every brand in the entire world has this same issue. The only reason why you see it with us, I'm sure you'll see it with other brands too, but the reason why you see it is because we post the actual measurements on our website. When we do a production of Weird Guy left-hand twill, we measure it, we put up the measurements on the website so that you know what you're getting from what you're ordering. And the same goes for anything else. And the reason why there are variances is because things are cut by hand. There's a lot of hand work involved here. You've got a lot of fabric composition differences, weight differences, the way that a heavier weight fabric will mold in the machine compared to a lighter weight fabric, a stretchier fabric, a looser weave fabric. All of these things are going to create some slight variances when you're producing the jeans. So that's why you will see some measurement differences here and there. Sometimes they're a little bit wider, sometimes they're not so much. We try to keep everything within a certain variance, but there are humans, there are people involved. We're not machining, precision machining steel here, right? There, almost in any industry that if you're cutting lumber, there's always, even if you buy the same size of board, there's going to be variances with that as well. So the reality is that because we're transparent about it, you see it. It's not something that we're like actively like, oh, we're trying to make it a little bit bigger or we're trying to make it a little bit smaller. We're aiming for a target and we're trying to be as close to that target in terms of measurements as possible. But of course, you know, from one variance to the other, you're going to have some slight differences here and there.
Right. So it's always a good idea to refer to the measurement guide, even though you've been familiar with the brand and you know your fits, you know your size most of the time in the past. You should still look at the measurement guide if you're buying online. And if you're, you know, buying in store, try them on.
Right.
Part of it is also, even if it measures to be the same, it might feel differently on your body also. So like if you're buying online, like my like general recommendation is that if you're buying something that are heavier weight, give yourself a little bit extra room, because you are not going to be comfortable if it's like if the measurements are exactly the same as your 11-ounce jeans that you're used to wearing. It's not going to feel the same on your body.
Yeah. Just a good pro tip is to give yourself a little bit of room. Sometimes we will buy our jeans and they're snug on the body. You're like, okay, the jeans are snug, they're going to stretch out. Mm-hmm. And now, sometimes that works. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it doesn't work. And when it doesn't work, now you're left with a pair of jeans that are just a little uncomfortable. And when you've got a pair of jeans that are just a little uncomfortable, they tend to be the jeans that you wear just a little bit less often. And then all it takes is one happy holiday weekend of food and gluttony to...
Gluttony.
Yeah. To, you know, make it such that those jeans don't fit anymore. Mm-hmm. I like to recommend when you buy your jeans, make sure that there's a little bit of extra room in them. Make sure that they do up comfortably. They shouldn't be a struggle. If you could get 1 or 2 fingers in the waist at the start, you're fine. If it's a struggle to do up, you've got the wrong size. Give yourself a little bit of room. And then, you know, people figure, oh, well, if I have a little bit of room, they're going to stretch out a lot. They're going to stretch out less because you're putting less tension on that fabric when you wear it. Whatever stretch it does have, it's just going to be enough stretch that accommodates the way that your body moves. When you've got the jeans on too tight and then the jeans stretch, all they're doing is stretching out to, like, you know, accommodate as much as it can, but it doesn't give you that room to move around in. I know this is a little bit of a change of thinking because for years on the forums, there's been a lot of bad information about raw denim. There really has. Sizing down, you know, wear them to stretch out. Skinniest fit is, you know, that's the best way to go. You know, if you look back a couple years, it was just like you would see these sausaged on jeans, like, people are like, how's my fit? And they're like, great. And I'm like, no, not good.
Yeah. Well, I think this, like, you know, like, change from, like, skinny, everybody's skinny to, like, you can wear wider fit kind of, like, vibe is a good thing, just in general for raw denim people.
Right.
It's just, yeah. Case in point.
Yes.
I recently was given jeans from my husband who outgrew the jeans, I guess.
Yes.
And then I've been wearing strong guy size 30.
Yep.
Yes. And nightshade, which is 2% stretch.
Right.
And obviously it's like I wear 27 women's. And so in the waist, it's huge.
Yeah.
But it accommodates my hip really comfortably. And all I have to do is put on the belt so that it doesn't fall off my butt.
Yeah.
And it's just been wonderful. I just been wearing them like, you know, every day since he gave it to me.
Right.
It's actually really like, it's just comfortable. You know, I can wear it like, you know, the just a little bit low so the crotch is not riding up on me. I look like Bahzad now, just wearing your jeans low and loose.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. It's great.
There
so
you have
it
it, guys.
doesn't really need to fit you. I think, you know, obviously if it's too small, you cannot wear them.
Yeah.
But if it's a little bit too big, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. A little bit too big is never a problem. You know, comfort is key. Comfort is king right now, and yeah, there you go. If you have a a significant other in your life who can wear the jeans that you outgrew, well, then you've given them another life.
Oh, it doesn't need to be a significant.
It could be anybody. That's true.
Yeah. Could be your little brother or like
that's
your
a significant other.
Friend. Yeah, but you don't call them that.
That's true. If you have a loved one, or even even if it's your enemy, okay, don't give gifts to your enemies. Should you? Is that another debate? I don't know. I don't know what you should do.
It depends on what kind of enemy. Like, do you want to be better with this enemy, or do you want to stay in, like, enemy?
I don't know. I don't know how to fix that situation. This is a Dr. Which one?
There is no situation.
Dr. Phil. We got to get Dr. Phil on that one. Open invitation to Dr. Phil. By the way, if you're out there watching this live stream, you're welcome to come on anytime, and we can work out raw denim,
there has to be
clashes.
a real life case for them to pick up on that, though.
All right. Yeah, I just we promised that we were going to share jeans, and he wore them for 6 months, and then he never gave them back, and he said he really liked the 6 fades. All right, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, Ian M writes, my partner and I have matching scratch and sniff Heba Cypress.
Nice.
Fantastic. That is a great one to share. BD, give your enemies a jean 2 sizes down. I got you a present. Let's hear Bahzad do an impression of Dr. Phil. I cannot do an impression of Dr. Phil. If I had one, like if I was watching him right now, maybe I could react to it and try to do one, but I don't think I could do one offhand. Okay. Jeremy writes, yeah, I find that I prefer a 36 across the board for every true guy in each different weight, and that gives me the exact amount of room in the thighs and waist. Could even wear a belt if needed, but I don't. Right. Yeah, sometimes you can, the waist size can just be just big enough where it like hangs on your hips and you don't need a belt. Usually I like to wear my jeans in that way. I don't wear too many belts anymore. I usually have the jeans a little bit big, just a little bit. But I keep getting a little bit bigger. I only gain weight in my waist. I don't know why. It's all in my waist.
Just, yeah.
So my jeans just, I put them on, I'm like, damn it, Risa.
Here's your new jeans.
Here's your new jeans. Right. Chief writes, Bahzad, can we get a Naked and Famous hoodie in pink, purple, or baby blue?
There's a pink.
There is a pink.
Blush pink.
Yeah, there's a baby pink. Yeah. That's a pretty good one. You should check that one out. But the other colors, I'm going to go with no. Yeah. Jonathan writes, I'm on your website and almost daily and receive the did something catch your eye messages. Is there a way to unsub from those without missing your other emails, i.e. segment them? I will double check. I thought... I'll double check what the settings are on those, but they're not supposed to spam you. It might be a matter of whether or not you accepted cookies from our website or not, because the cookie is going to tell the thing.
But I think our setting is that you have to accept it. I don't think there's a way to opt out.
I'm not sure. Anyways, I'll double check the settings on that and see if I can make it a little less burdensome or bothersome.
Yeah. But I think what happens is that each time you go on the website and browse, you get the follow-up email. So like the it's not like you go on one time and then you get spammed afterwards. It's more likely that because you keep going back and it's kind of like it might be annoying, but you might have to filter that out. Like you just have to live with it.
Right. I'll double check if I can make it less. I will.
Or at least like don't send it within a certain amount of days or something.
Yeah. Like if you've been on the website, I think there is a setting for that. It shouldn't go too much, but anyhow, I'll take a look. Okay. Angel writes, hey Bahzad, any ETA on the MIJ13s? I don't know if this was answered already. It is going to be out this month. February this month. We'll have it out before the end of the month. So keep an eye out for release information just to keep everyone posted. Undyed Frankenstein came out today. That was the first February release. Next February release is the tried and true Selvedge. We're going to have those on Tattoo Yoko Naked Famous Denim NYC next Friday, February the 9th. But if you want them early, Blue Owl Workshop, I saw that they just released them today. It's a great elevated classic denim, natural indigo, neppy, just a short slub denim, so you get a more of a streaky fade over time. Red, white, and blue Selvedge ID, veg tan leather patch. It's kind of got everything you want in a raw denim, but just with slightly upped features. But nothing over the top. Not if you want like that classic dark indigo, but you want a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's a great jean for you. Next, we have on, what day is it? I'm trying to remember. The 16th, we are going to release the next Strong Guy edition. So we're doing Natural Indigo Strong Guy. That's going to be coming out on Friday, February 16th. So watch out for that one. So that's a new addition to the core Strong Guy options. And then on the 23rd, we will have the MIJ 13, Lucky 13, out for you guys. So it's a jam-packed month full of wonderful releases.
Yeah. And MIJ 12, if nobody has asked, but if you're wondering, you didn't miss out on it. MIJ 12 has not come out yet and will come out after the 13 comes out.
Right.
So MIJ 12 is going to be a good one too. I think it's
Oh yeah, the green cast is going to be fantastic.
So I'm excited about that. Very slubby green cast. That one is in the sea somewhere.
Yeah.
Not in the sea.
On the sea. So it's on the boat on its way to Tate and Yoko. Okay, there was a question about Mike Drop. When is the 60s vintage blue dropping this season? So we've got two lightweight options, light blue color options coming up. We've got the Ocean's Edge, so that's coming out as this vintage green cast rinsed denim option, and then we have the left hand twill sky blue edition. This is the one that you might be talking about. I don't have a release date set for this yet, but these are probably both coming out in March. Check out that awesome pocket flasher.
Yeah, Ocean's Edge.
So wonderful. Done by High Road Design in Waterloo, Ontario. Does a great job for us here with the pocket flasher. So we got the vintage kind of matchbox style left-hand tool. Anytime we do these pale blue, summery 60s blues kind of colors, I always go for kind of like matchbook type designs. So anyways, hope you appreciate that one.
And the Ocean's Edge is a rinse wash fabric.
Yes, so that's right.
It is kind of like, it's not rinse washed garment, but it's as a fabric it's been rinse washed. So it's got a very nice touch to it.
Yeah. Ian writes, Blue Owl already has the left hand on their website. That's possible. I do have them.
They're very quick.
Yeah, they put stuff up right away. I do have them, but I think I'm waiting for some inventory, other fits to arrive so that I could release them all in one shot. So, yeah, they'll be out sooner than later, but probably into March, probably an early March release for us. Yeah, if you want quick, fast first releases, Blue Owl tends to have them up the fastest. C. Sanchez writes, in a past live stream, you said the Akuma fabric might be coming back in a different jeans. Is this still happening? The answer is...
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. It's coming. It's coming for fall winter 24. We're calling it the Shinigami Selvedge. It is the exact same fabric that we ran for Akuma and for Trunks. Now
Except for the Selvedge ID.
Yeah, Selvedge ID is different. It'll have like a orangish, reddish line Selvedge ID. It's confirmed. It's coming. So it will be available for the first time outside of a capsule collection. It'll have just the classic Naked and Famous Denim branding on it. And for those people who owned those jeans before, maybe they're looking for another pair. It's been a while since those came out. Maybe you faded them out. You want to get into that again. It'll be your opportunity to get them again. And for those people who missed out, now it's your opportunity to get into that denim. It is the absolute most requested fabric to come back on our website. You know, on Tate and Yoko, there's like, remind me when available.
The Akuma is just...
We had to take the button down on those jeans because the requests for that fabric, even to this day, are the most of anything we've ever put out. By far, by a mile. So it's coming.
Yeah.
Look out for it. It's gonna be awesome.
And if you have already faded them, share those images.
Yeah.
Take a picture and share.
We love it. Shinigami Death Note collab. No affiliation with Death Note.
No. Shinigami is just a word for like I would picture a Grim Reaper looking person. You know, just like a
right. So we wanted a word that kind of reflected
the
mood
like
of that denim.
Literal translation would be death god.
Yeah.
But, just like a person who comes when you die, I guess.
So sort of Akuma adjacent in terms of wording.
Right.
But we're not going to use that word because we used that word already for the Akuma denim. And this is different in just the sense that the Selvedge ID is. But anyhow, it won't have any of that Street Fighter branding on it. It will be classic Naked and Famous Denim branding all over that one. And then the Dia de los Muertos, that is also coming for next season, Fall Winter 24. We're talking Fall Winter 24. Let me see if I have some previews of that I can show you guys, because I believe I do. Hold on a second. You guys are so nice waiting for me. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up. I bet I can. Let's see here. We've got that. Whoa, that's too much zoomed in. Can I control the zoom in? Not really. Anyhow, you guys will. It's fine. You guys are smart people. Okay, so let's take a look at the Dia de los Muertos denim, because this is coming in very, very, very soon. In terms of, it's coming in the fall. That's fine, no big deal.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's check it out. Bang, there you have it. So that's the Selvedge ID. There's a very close-up look at the Selvedge ID here. Can I zoom out a little bit? There we go. So you can see it has the Mexican blanket sarape stripe here on the Selvedge ID, and on the coin pocket you're going to have kind of both sides visible at the same time. On the cuff, you're going to see it. It's going to look more like this. So you have all the colors there, the gradient tones throughout, and then the denim itself is a classic dark indigo, but it's made with Mexican upland cotton. This is the most premium cotton that Mexico has to offer. We had to specially import this into Japan because apparently they don't import a lot of Mexican cotton into Japan, but they did it just for us. So this is a beautiful denim, dark indigo, and on the inside it's actually very, very soft. It's a very comfortable feeling denim. And then, I wouldn't say it's not as soft as like the Sea Island cotton denim. That one was like...
That one was very, drapey. This one has like a slight drape to it. It's just soft.
Yeah.
It's I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
hard to explain, but when you touch it, you'll know that there's something special going on there. And then the leather patch here is, I think it's quite amazing. And you have that beautiful scenery of the skeletons at the altar. This was done by a tattoo artist that we worked with in Mexico. Beautiful design. I think it came out excellently. Veg tan, that's going to patina quite nicely over time as well. So I think there's going to be a lot of people excited for this one. I'm very excited for this one. So for those people who are happy to have the Dia de los Muertos, signified. I don't know. I'm looking for the right word. I don't know if that's the right word, but immortalized, commemorated in denim form. It's coming. It's coming this fall. So we'll probably have those out by October. So coming very soon. Speaking of fall winter 24s, we also have another preview because we have this one right here. Yeah. This is a beautiful fabric that we've got. It's the all natural FoxFibre denim. So we're doing a FoxFibre denim with Naked and Famous, and you can see here it's just a wonderful denim. Oh man, the color is not coming out. No. It's really messing. Hold on. The auto.
What's it called?
The auto color is messing us up a little bit. I think we have to show it from far. Okay, hold on. So we've got a classic dark indigo on the outside, but it does have a little bit of a warm tone. Man, anyhow, maybe I'll have to put some photos up online later. But it's a warmish toned dark indigo, and then on the inside you've got this beautiful brown warm color on the inside, and this of course is created not through dyeing but through growing the cotton in this color. Why dye the cotton when you can grow it in the right color? And that's what we have right here. So we have this beautiful warm toned brown natural colored cotton on the inside. It shines through the front face of the fabric, so you have a nice warm tone. It peeks through the twill lines here, and it's hard to see, but I will post some photos later. But like a maroon tone, a maroon like red line Selvedge ID here as well. So I think it pairs up quite nicely. On the side is
the weft color.
Right. So yeah, it's FoxFibre on the weft with maroon. I think it looks quite nice. And the beauty of FoxFibre cotton is that it actually evolves over time as well. So as the indigo will fade, this colored cotton will darken and mature as well. So it's an continuously evolving garment, not just on the indigo side, but on the cotton side as well. And we're also doing a FoxFibre shirt, and that's what I'm wearing right here. This is our overshirt in the all-natural FoxFibre, 100% FoxFibre. This color is created not from dye, but from just the cotton itself. And what's neat about it is somebody asked me on, I think it was on Instagram, or wherever it was, with the undyed Frankenstein, you can see the neps, the cotton seed, still in the fabric. And the question was, can you make a colored denim where you can see that? Right? Like if you were to do a dark indigo, would you still be able to see the seed? I'm like, technically the seed is there. It's just you can't see it because it's dyed over. But this, it is brown, but you still see cotton seed throughout here. So, I mean, I guess that is one way to do it. But it's so soft and comfortable, and it's brushed, and I'm just gonna keep wearing this. I took this sample, just like I couldn't let it go.
And we did the Indigo by FoxFibre denim in the past, a long time ago. Yep. But that one was like a lighter weight, 10 ounce, 11 ounce, something like that. This time we're doing it in the fall for 15 ounce. It's, substantial denim. And I just like how you don't see much grain, and you don't see much of a weft coming out, but when the denim is like really deep indigo like this, the fade is going to be really...
Yeah, very energetic and bright electric tones. So, Topher Cobra writes, okay, so Akuma, Dia de los Muertos, and FoxFibre, thanks for these early notifications so that I can plan ahead. These are, to me, those are like the kings. And there's also the elephant red core. So the elephant denim is back, of course, but now we're combining it with the red core denim. So red core, elephant together. Think about the fades here. The red core already fades with just this incredible, unique fade style. And then you combine that with the heavyweight wear patterns that you would get from an elephant denim and the speed that you would get from heavyweight denim fading. It's going to be pandemonium. Pandemonium for elephant red core. I'm excited to see the fades on that one. You guys are going to kill it. And I wonder if any, Indigo Invitational 5, geez, it's like that. Like, I know the Indigo Invitational folks, they love the heavyweight fades, but heavyweight color core fades, oh, they've never seen anything like that before. That would be crazy.
They're going to see a bunch of those jeans in that.
Yeah. So that's happening. So a lot of fun, exciting things coming up for fall, winter 24. Of course, we're going to keep all the hits rolling. Actually, next week we have to design spring summer 25. So that's a big project that we're working on. So anyhow, that's there's a lot of denim in my mind because we're just off of like fall winter 23. We're releasing spring summer 24. We were selling fall winter 24, and now we're designing spring summer 25 with probably a couple things that will get pushed into fall winter 25.
25. It's been 25 years
since the millennium.
Oh my god.
Right?
Insanity. Like,
the people born in the millennium are like full grown adults, like fully formed adults now. Like, they have no excuse anymore. Like,
no, they have their own kids now. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, like, you got to pay the rent, kind of thing. Yeah, that was probably for a few years at this point. Yeah. You're probably 23. You might still be living at home, but some of you paying the rent. Anyhow, you're adults.
Yeah.
Can't believe it. I still remember the stream way back in 2020 or so when you talked about combining color core and elephant, KW writes. That's right. Memory. Good memory. Yeah, we've been talking about combining, series together, and I think there's a lot of fun to be had there. Andrew Furusawa writes, I have to save up for the FoxFibre Wonder Looper stuff. I don't know if I can handle all these fall releases. Sorry about that. But yeah, there's a lot of exciting things coming out, including that.
Ooh.
Yeah, that is a Wonder Looper 825 GSM double heavyweight FoxFibre French Terry.
Yeah.
825 GSM, for those people who don't realize it, that's the equivalent in denim form of 24 ounces. It doesn't really get, every now and then I see like, oh, here's a heavyweight. To be fair, we call our heavyweight sweatshirts double heavyweight for a reason. Like, a heavyweight sweatshirt is like 350, 400 GSM, and like, someone's like, oh yeah, I got a 500 GSM. Like, they're all like, yeah, our double heavyweight French Terry is like 725, I think, and then up to 800.
709.
709. Yeah. And then now they're up to 825. Anyhow.
701. Something like
that.
Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a big change.
Yeah.
We're going to review that next week. Is it next?
Yeah, next weekend we're going to have a Wonder Looper live stream. Anyway, subscribe to the Wonder Looper newsletter and Instagram for updates on that, because we're going to be talking about all the new goodies. Milo writes, new Wonder Looper goodies. That's right, it's coming very soon. Ian writes, I'm going to need that 1000 GSM. We're working on it.
It's not as easy as it's kind of like 32 ounce or anything in that realm where it's possible. It's just sewing.
Yeah, sewing is a big issue. The Raven writes, is it true that left hand twill breaks in softer when compared to right hand twill? That is a loaded question, actually.
Yeah.
It's okay. Let's break it down like this. Left-hand twill and right-hand twill. If you're comparing equivalent, same yarn, same construction, except one is left-hand twill, one is right-hand twill. We're talking the same weight, same everything. The right-hand twill denim will be a little bit more gritty compared to the left-hand twill denim that's a little bit softer. The reason for this is because the weave direction and the yarn spin direction line up with the left-hand twill, so it gets a little bit softer. Whereas on the right-hand twill denim, it is the opposite. So the weave direction and the spin direction are opposite one another, so it feels a little bit tougher.
Yeah. So the reason for that, like if we go even like deeper into this, it's that like denim definitely is a directional twill. So like like we do anti-skewing on almost all of our fabrics. It's part of sanitization process. So usually the shift in denim is negligible if you're not really like looking for it, but it does happen. It's not like it's like shrinkage, like you can pre-shrink it. It's still gonna shrink a little bit. It's just part of it. And like the yarns are all like separately. Yarns are like when the yarn is really tightly twisted, it's a little bit more hard, whereas like if loosely twisted yarns are a lot softer. You might be able to kind of feel it with like like a knitting yarn or something like that. Like when you twist it really hard, then it becomes a harder texture, like a harder yarn, whereas like when you try to like unravel the twisting, it gets softer. So like both of those things are happening at the same time when you're wearing jeans, and when the yarn is woven in the direction where the yarn tends to like pull to the fabric tends to pull to the same direction as the yarn unraveling, that's how it gets softer. But with that said, it's very subtle. It's not like super obvious. So when you compare, like, when you comparing literal apples to apples, like Bahzad just laid out, then you probably see the difference.
Yeah.
But when you're just like in general talking about things, like other factors come in, so you might not like, you might not be like, this has to be left hand twirl because it's softer. Sometimes that's not the reason why the denim is soft.
Right. In fact, just to get a little bit nerdy about it, you could technically make a right hand twill denim feel like a left hand twill denim by using a yarn that is spun in the opposite direction. So yarn spinning is either an S twist or Z twist, so clockwise or counterclockwise. Most yarn, for some reason, and in fact, I've actually asked the mills, like, what's the reason? And even they're like, is in S-twist. So there's not a lot of Z-twist yarn out there, but you technically it can be done.
I don't think there's much like demand for specifically Z-twist yarns, so that it's easier to just stick with the one side so that you don't have to change the direction of spinning things.
So technically, you could make the right-hand twill denim feel like a left-hand twill denim, but what's the point? Like, like it is such a. I've thought about making that jean, and I'm like, there's the amount of explanation that is gonna have to go into this fabric.
We need like a computer-generated diagrams and things to show. Like even us talking about it here, I'm sure it's very confusing because like it's a very complicated concept.
But I'm like, and then at the end of the day, you get a denim that looks like a regular denim, and people are like, okay. Like, why don't I just buy a left-hand twill denim then? It's like you go through all this work. It's kind of like in that episode of The Simpsons when they go to Australia and the toilet, the way it flushed. I guess the joke was that in the southern hemisphere, the toilets flushed the opposite direction. And then they went to the American consulate and they're like, how did they're checking on the way the toilets flush. And they're like, no. These flush the good old American way. And so they had this contraption on it that it would flush the American way. It's so pointless. But yeah. Anyhow. Pedro writes, you would need that Degrassi guy for the explanation of that gene. The Degrassi? Which Degrassi guy?
I don't know.
You're going to have to...
If anybody was going to get it, it was you.
I'm a big Degrassi fan. In fact, just this week, I was rewatching...
Like, every time I, pay attention to what you're watching, it's either Degrassi or what's the other one that's similar? The Ready or Not?
Yeah, there's, all these, teen dramas from when I was a kid. And I watch them when I'm, doing the most mundane work, like order entry or something, because it's just, I know all these episodes like the back of my head, and I don't have to pay attention to them.
Yeah.
But there's noise. I just need something to
just
when I'm entering an order, like a massive order that's going to take me an hour, I need something that I absolutely recognize, and so it's just like these shows that I know like the back of my hand.
Yeah. Or Kenny and Spenny.
Kenny versus Spenny. It's all Kenny old Canadian TV shows that I just watch nonstop. But yeah, that's what I watch when I'm working. I remember seeing the commercials as a kid, but what's the show about? Degrassi is a show. It started off with it's very Canadian. It's maybe the most iconic Canadian show ever.
But it could pass as American too. It's not like there's specifically like about
just to
Canada.
get into my Degrassi knowledge. Some later episodes, because the syndication was starting to grow in America, you would see like American bills show up in the episodes, but it's definitely not. I think somebody meant Niels deGrasse Tyson. Not Degrassi. Anyways, but just back to Degrassi. It starts off as like elementary school kids, and there was a show called The Kids of Degrassi Street. But that is kind of some of the characters crossed over into Degrassi Junior High, which is just, 6th and 7th graders, and 6th, 7th, 8th graders, and just their lives and the trials and tribulations that young people go through. And like the show kind of gets serious in like a lot of ways, teen pregnancy and, runaways and things like that. And then, into high school and the problems that go with that. And then there was a movie called, some people don't even realize that there was a made for TV movie called School's Out, which gets a little dark. And then later on, so that was at 80s into the early 90s program in Canada. And then in the 90s, Degrassi was on syndications. It was on repeat a lot, and just through the fan base that grew from that, a new series called The Next Generation, it came up in like the early 2000s, and that's where you'll see like Drake was in that one, and that I think anyway that series lasted for quite a while. I still think that there is some form of Degrassi on television. I do not know, but very Canadian. They're even in like The Next Generation, like Kevin Smith directed a movie for that, and he made some appearances in it. And I'm always on the lookout for hold on.
But my point was that like it's not like the content is not like just about Canada. It's about like teens in general.
Yeah.
Like that same thing applied to any American teens.
Yeah, I found this varsity jacket the other day, and because it's very much like the Degrassi colors, although the yellow is not right, I just thought it was...
Yellow is not right?
Well, it depends on which era of Degrassi you're looking at, but I was like, oh, that's like a Degrassi jacket. I had to buy it. It doesn't fit me. I just had to have it, so... Just a vintage varsity jacket that looked cool.
Someday I will make a patch for Degrassi.
And then also, when I was growing up, I went to my elementary school was down the street from where they filmed Degrassi Junior High, and where I lived, there was a bunch of Degrassi Schott. So whenever I watch that show, it just reminds me, because through the scenery, it just reminds me of where I grew up. And that's also why I like shows like, other teen shows from when I was a kid, because a lot of them were interestingly shot like around areas I grew up in, so I recognize a lot of the locations. Kenny versus Spenny especially, if you want to know like 2000s era Toronto, just there's a lot of areas that are, you see in the background that aren't around today, so it's very very cool. BD writes, Degrassi was more real life / teen than Saved by the Bell, which was a studio show. Yeah, it was very real, whereas a lot of the other teen programs on at that time were
not realistic
at all, like 90210 and things like that. Like,
I'm sure it's real for some people, but not like
it didn't relate
people.
to regular people. Yeah.
But Degrassi, like they do tackle like really dark, deep issues, like. It's not just really like a fun teen show.
No, it's not. They're like a lot of bad things happen. And anyways, you learn. I thought it was a great way to learn
about
life growing up.
Yeah.
Another interesting fun fact that the studio where, like at least the HQ, where they produced Degrassi in Toronto, that location is actually occupied by one of our Naked and Famous Denim retail partners, Good Neighbor. They are in.
Really?
Yep.
I did not know
their
that.
store is in the original studio from where Degrassi was produced.
That is a deep knowledge.
That is some deep knowledge. So, anyways, I'm a Degrassi fan, forever. It's a good show. I have all the DVDs. I have an autographed script. I got all kinds of stuff. Anyhow, that was a little side rant.
Yeah, and it all came from a
from a typo. The Raven. Okay. Sounds like a Canadian Saved by the Bell. Nicholas writes. It's not quite. It's all on YouTube. You can watch it if you feel interested about learning about 80s Canadiana. But like any Canadian of my age and pedigree will probably have some fond memories of that show. It was on a lot, and I even remember in school, they would play, they might play us an episode, and then you would have like some kind of lesson, based on what we learned in that show.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Like they do, like. They don't tackle this problem like it's a problem. It's just like, a slice of lifestyle, like things. And
like if a kid is like, his parents are being abusive to him.
Yeah, or alcoholism.
Yeah.
Or like, any kind of like things like that. That just like, that is not like, typical day to day, but it is a real like issues that might happen around you.
Right. So anyhow. Go ahead and watch Degrassi. From junior high all the way to the next generation, there's literally hundreds or thousands of episodes for you to enjoy.
Very interesting outfits and hairstyles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they're all very real, especially in the early days.
The thing about that show is that the kids are kids.
Yeah.
Like, whereas, like, a lot of teen shows back then was, like, kids who were acting like adults.
Well, they were adults acting like kids. Like, you'd have, like, a 28-year-old playing, like, a 16-year-old.
Right. But, the kids are acting sometimes like adults and, like, like living adult life. Whereas, like, Degrassi is more like, okay, these are actual kids. Like, they have, the intelligence of, the age group and, life experience of these age group.
Right. Anyhow, good show. Great show. One of my favorites. Invis Ian's writes, Schott times Naked and Famous is long overdue. You might be right about that. It's on my to-do list. I'll tell you that much. Seeing that Den Hen Blue Owl collaboration and Naked and Famous collaborated with Blue Owl and Raised by Wolves. You know that we're always open to collaboration. Speaking of Canada-based shows, Scott Pilgrim times Naked and Famous Selvedge. That could be interesting, actually. A buddy of mine has a very close connection to the Scott Pilgrim people, and I do enjoy that. I enjoy the movie. I haven't watched the anime yet. I know that there's a show.
Yeah.
But also
there's a video game.
There's a video game. Also, like, that whole area, like Lee's Palace, like, I used to hang out a lot in that area, in the 2000s. So, again, everything for me is like, if there's a personal connection, I'm like, I just enjoy that content no matter what. So, like, when I watched the movie, I'm like, I know where that is. I've definitely hung out there a lot. And so, yeah, just a great time. Like, even in the film, there's the record store that they go to called Sonic Boom. I used to go there a lot. I would buy a lot of CDs. I buy a lot of movies there. They don't have that location there anymore. I think it's occupied by a Dollarama, but they moved to Chinatown. Mm-hmm. And before they moved to Chinatown, they were in the Honest Ed's building, which they took down to make for condos, which is one of the stupidest things. I don't know. My vision of Toronto is everything I loved is gone.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Shibuya. Like, it's just completely different town. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say completely, but it's very different. And anything that like happens around like the 90s, 2000, early 2000s Shibuya is very nostalgic to me.
Yeah. This is also an interesting fun fact about Honest Ed's and Toronto. Let me just pull up some graphics here so you guys know. So this building was one of the most iconic buildings in the city in Toronto. Honest Ed's. So, had this beautiful sign. It was on the corner of Bathurst and Bloor. And yeah, it was like a discount store, right? And so it, especially at the time, I mean, I still think that there's still room for it, but it was very much like, affordable prices and they were liquidators in many ways. They buy out of stock and old stock stuff and just pass the savings on to the consumer, that type of thing. They had a lot of hand drawn price signs that they were known for as well. And at one point, Sonic Boom, because they were around the corner from here, when they got, I don't know, when they had to move, they were operating down here. And now they took all this down. They just built condos on top of it. It's not very appealing.
Very sad. Yeah, it's so cool. Like seeing this, this looks like old Las Vegas kind of vibes, and seeing that in the middle of Toronto streets is. And
just missing Toronto. When I grew up, you'd have Sam the Record Man, and you had a lot of these bright, very iconic signs in the city, and all of that is gone now. But
also great store name.
Honest Ed's.
Just perfect.
And just to connect it back to Naked and Famous in a way, Brandon's dad's company sold to Honest Ed's for years and years and years and years and years. Marcello used to deal with them. And so, they were a partner of ours for a very, very long time. So there's some connection there from our side as well. So, yeah, what can I say? Honest Ed's, we miss you. We miss you. Ed Mervish, Honest Ed Mervish. That was his. He was a good man. Very very generous. Lots of philanthropy. He used to give away turkeys and stuff at that location on Thanksgiving. Always a great, very charitable, great guy. Good man, good representative of the city. All right, there you go. The Raven. In my opinion, anime was really good, and a collab with you guys would be sick as hell for Scott Pilgrim. I think it could be really cool. There's a lot of good characters there to work with, and I do like the Canadian connection. Maybe we'll look into that one. Okay. Rights W5 writes, I remember when the press made Beastie Boys to be a band of crazy nutters when they were actually a band from Saved by the Bell. I would not compare the Beastie Boys to Zack Attack. Now, you have to be... You didn't really watch Saved by the Bell very much, or at all, but they did form... there was a band in Saved by the Bell called I'm pretty sure I'm right, called the Zack Attack. Okay. And then they had a song called Friends Forever. And also the girls once formed a group where Jessie Spano famously was so excited because she was taking caffeine pills. So this was their way of tackling drugs. Whereas on Degrassi, they're yeah, a kid's gonna take acid and jump off a bridge. Sorry, spoiler alert. But in Saved by the Bell, they're we can't actually have drugs, so she's gonna get high on caffeine pills and crash. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a network television.
That's right. Yeah, Degrassi got real, man. Jeez. Okay. Chief Miggy writes, Bahzad, will the red core elephant have a jacket too? You bet it will. So the fall winter 24 jackets are red core elephant. We have a smoky cotton slub Selvedge. So remember the raw cotton slub? So think that, but a more like earth toned kind of smoky color. Earth toned smoky. We've got the Shinigami Selvedge, and then we have the
FoxFibre.
No, not the FoxFibre. The Blue Wave.
Oh, Blue Wave.
Yeah. So a rinsed.
Right.
Yeah. A rinsed.
FoxFibre. I'm thinking of. Yeah. Okay.
We might maybe add a FoxFibre, but.
Okay, so those for jackets, I'm thinking. I was thinking of strong guy options. We also have a bunch of strong guy options for winter 24. That includes the
Shinigami,
FoxFibre,
elephant.
I think there's gonna be the Dia de los Muertos.
Dia de los Muertos. That's right.
And I think maybe something else.
Yeah.
Anyways, we do have a lot of extra options in this denim.
It's hard to remember everything. There's a lot going on. Okay, Chief Miggy, I've been searching for a good pair of red core, and I've been eyeing the elephant series for a while. Well, perfect timing. Perfect timing. It'll be here sooner than you think. And yeah, more strong guys coming as well. So for the strong guy fans out there, you don't have to wait much longer. We have the natural Indigo coming out in 2 weeks, and then we'll have some core restocks probably in the Q2 of this year, and then we'll have some more new options in the fall. Invis Ians writes, Michael Myers jacket. We'll make it happen. We will make it happen. All right. The Raven writes, didn't the caffeine pill episode win an award for
Really?
For Saved by the Bell? I don't know. I don't believe it. But you know what? Here's another, just going back to Degrassi, there was also a caffeine pill episode on Degrassi.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But
what's better?
I'm going to go with the Degrassi episode just because it was definitely more real. As far as entertainment factor, Jesse screaming, I'm so excited, is television gold. It's television gold. Okay. Is there a plan for relaunching the wax-coated Selvedge denim? Been searching for one. It's their holy grail. No plans at the moment for that one. If you really want wax-coated, if you really, really, really want wax-coated denim, just wax-coat your denim. It's not as hard as you think. I'm gonna
disagree. I think it is hard. I think it's hard to these wax.
The wax bars.
Yeah, it's fine for already wax coated garment that you are just touching up. I think it's very easy to touch up. Whereas if you have to start from scratch, where I tried, it's not as easy to get it done properly.
All right. Well, there's two opinions on that. Nevertheless, no plans to do another wax.
Nevertheless, you can try it and see if it's easier for you also.
Okay. David Dixon writes, when is the Spring-Summer 24 lineup being released? It's already being released. So the Frankenstein denim came out today. Last week, we released the Chinese New Year. Next week, we've got the tried and true Selvedge. We've got the natural Indigo Strong Eye coming out after that. I think I said the 19th. Or the 16th, and then on the 23rd we've got the MIJ 13 coming. So there's a lot of stuff coming out each and every week. Just stay tuned for release info. If you subscribe to the Naked Famous Denim newsletter, I'm starting to put a section where it lets you know what's coming out next week or the week after, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
and the whole lineup is online. I was just waiting for a few pictures, but everything is available for you to view online, so you can go on Tatenyoko or nakedandfamousdenim.com and review what's gonna come out in the next little 5 months.
Yeah. Rice Checks writes, ever give a thought to dog gear, jackets or leashes, etc.? No.
Dog things, I think, is a very difficult product category, because dogs come in all sizes and shapes, and I just feel none of us are really dog owners.
Yeah. No, I mean, Brandon's sister has a gigantic 200-pound dog. I'm not even joking. Who comes to the office every day, who's wonderful. But, dog gear, I'm going to leave that to the dog people.
Yeah.
It's a lot to figure out, and for, we're going to sell 20 jackets.
Yeah.
It's not worth
similar
the
thing
effort.
with kids wear. We do have a single kids jeans as a product, but other than that, it's just it's so there's great kids wear brands with kids wear store connections and all of that, so we're gonna leave it at that.
Yeah. You know what we should do, though? You're supposed to say what? We should ask everybody to like this video. Yeah, because if you haven't done so already,
now is the great time.
The
perfect time to do it.
When Risa says it, it is absolutely the truth, and it could be nothing more truthful than that. So if you haven't done so already, do like Risa says, and
like the video and subscribe if you haven't to the channel.
There you go. Some wonderful advice. I always listen to Risa, and it's done me just amazingly in life. So I'm where I am today, all thanks to all the direction you've given me. So,
direction?
Yep.
Never give you a direction.
All kinds of directions. And so I would encourage you guys to listen to her advice as well, because you can do no wrong with that advice. Joshua Vasquez, Frankenstein still has quite a few sizes up, so you might be lucky whenever you get paid next.
Yeah, we did make a lot.
We made a lot. So. I stocked us up for this season and also for next, because last season we were running out a little too quickly. So I wanted to make sure that we would have enough to go around. Some things obviously go fast, a little bit faster than others, but we're going to do our best to make sure that we are loaded and can accommodate everybody who's looking for what they're looking for.
Yeah.
Okay. Steven writes, what better on a hot day, lightweight denim or the new 100% hemp denim? I'm
gonna say either works, but my advice is to get a wider fit or looser size.
Yeah.
Because that really makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Even if it's a little heavier weight, heavier weight wide is better than lighter weight tight.
Yeah.
Because you get so much air, and that's what you need.
Yeah. So I guess that's the real answer. Make sure you got some airflow, and you will go no wrong. You will do no wrong, as per Risa's advice that never steers anyone wrong.
But 100% hemp is an amazing fabric.
Very nice.
It's so drapey. It's so different. It's not even denim at this point. I think it's a wonderful category of its own.
Shane Style writes, yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts about hemp versus linen versus very lightweight cotton, assuming the same loose cut. It all depends. Some people are linen people. They like it. They like the look of linen because linen obviously has that crunchiness to it. It also has the creases that you're gonna get from it. So and there's also a grittiness to linen, and that I would say that the linen and the hemp both possess a very, very similar quality in terms of look.
Very similar plant. I wouldn't say it's the same plant. It's a different plant, but it is a very similar plant in that for instance, in Japan, there's no like, you have to label your garment with, what the composition is. It's the same composition. It's the same category. It is basically the same plant. Right. And so how it acts is very similar. It's drapey. It's wrinkly, but it's also drapey. It's very like dry to the touch. It gives you a lot of breathability. And lightweight cotton. When you say lightweight cotton, there's also like different types. Obviously linen too, but like depending on the weave, some of lightweight cotton options are very crispy, whereas the other ones are a little bit more drapey too because it's woven loosely.
Right.
So there's a lot of options there. You can't compare.
They're very different, but I guess I think it boils down to what in terms of the way the fabric looks. If you like the look of linen versus if you like or prefer the look of a lighter weight cotton. If you like jeans to look like jeans, then the cotton option is the way you want to go. If you want your trousers, if you want your jeans to look more like linen type garments, then,
drapey, very drapey,
with a little bit more texture in it, then the linen hemp fabric is the way to go. Rice Checks writes, what's the least favorite part of your business? Is for you, I guess for us, what's dealing with unreasonable people? That's my least favorite part. Sometimes there's not a lot. I mean, there's a lot of tedious things.
I don't mind the tedious things, honestly. Sometimes it gets to my nerves, but most of the time it's very calming. Yeah,
for me, it's like time is a valuable resource, and some jobs are easy jobs. Like if I have to enter an order, you got to enter the order, and if the order is a big order, like if I'm ordering for Tate and Yoko from New York, or planning production, it takes time. It's an easy job, but it just takes time, and it's like no matter what, it's gonna take 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is to do it, and it's just like, I wish I could snap my fingers and it be done, right? So there's a little bit of an annoyance there, but that doesn't bother me that much. But the thing that always bothers me is unreasonable people. Just people who have, and it boils down to like people who have no experience, who are telling you that they are just, it happens mostly in like customer service land where it's like, oh, I've been wearing raw jeans for 5 years, so I know. And I'm like, okay, so if your stance, I didn't set the stance, but your stance is that because you've worn raw jeans for 5 years, you're knowledgeable. Well, I've been doing it a lot longer than you, so therefore I'm more knowledgeable. And of course that stance isn't going to work with them, and no matter what you try to explain to somebody as to like why if your dog eats your jeans, that doesn't matter how much they cost, that they're going to be ruined. With their $200 jeans, this shouldn't happen. I'm like, well, you set your jeans on fire and they burn up. That's just what happens. Or like, sometimes there's some very, very, very obvious like abuse cases in a garment, and they're like, well, I just put them on and this is what happened. I'm like, yeah, well, I guess if you put them on and they were not the right size and you force-fed that leg, your leg through a jean that doesn't fit you, and you bust everything open. And it's also very clear. Like, sometimes they'll send you the photo and it's just like, you see the seams have like exploded. And you're like, yeah, that's what happens when you explode something, right? Like the explode pattern is there. And,
Yeah. It's kind of like, it's weird because like if you scratch your car, nobody's going to blame the manufacturer.
Yeah.
Like
nobody.
It's like nobody's going to call it a defect because we all know the car gets scratched if you, like slam into something or you scrape something. It's just like, it's kind of a weird thing where like in clothing, like some people just don't understand that concept where like it's not indestructible. It's very actually, it's just only held by cotton and some polyester like threads to sew it with. It's a very regular item. It's not carbon fiber.
Yeah.
And people don't really...
Yeah. And they don't treat their garments like consumable goods either, where it's like, this is going to wear out eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It's true.
So, people expect your light bulb, you put a light bulb in the socket and after a certain amount of time, it doesn't work anymore, right?
Yeah.
No one is going to go to the manufacturer and be like, guys...
I'm
to be fair, I'm sure it happens. Okay. But the light bulb people are like, oh my God, like,
you just used it up.
Right. There's a life. This lasts a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, with jeans, it's a little bit different. Yeah. They're obviously 100-year-old jeans that I would say
wearable.
Wearable. But to be fair, if it was a dead stock item, like it could be wearable.
Right. Could be. But I would not. Anyhow, doesn't matter. The point is, like, we're very reasonable people in terms of like dealing with problems, and even then, sometimes you give an inch. Some people want to take a mile, and it always happens. Like whenever we try to accommodate an issue, then it turns into, oh, I see. You're willing to do that? Okay. Are you willing to do this, that, and the other thing now? And you're just like, what have I done? Like,
and also just like people thinking that they can return anything. Like, oh, I washed this garment.
Right.
Can I return it? No. Why can't I return it?
Yeah.
It's like, it's because you washed it. There's nothing you could... If you tried it on, you can return it. Yeah. If you wore it for a week, you can't return it. And that's not unreasonable. But some people allow you to return it so that people expect that level of, the casual return.
Yes.
And I don't like... It's the same thing with, like, I was going to say, like, with this question, the answer to this question was that, like, how casual people take, like, these, when somebody gives a retailer gives a brand a purchase order, that should be a contract.
Yeah.
Saying that, okay, I'm putting this order for 6 months from now. Yeah, things might change in 6 months, as a course of your business goes. But if I'm still in the position to take this order, I have to take this order. But
there's a lot of handshake in our business that is
completely ignored as a business transaction. It's like, oh no, I mean, I said that I was going to buy this, but I'm not actually going to buy this.
That's true. So you'll go to a trade show or whatever, wherever you take the order from online, and you have the meeting with the customer. You plan out the purchase order with them, and in our industry, in the apparel industry, there's a lot of handshake. Pay for it when it's ready. No deposit. There's no contracts to be signed or anything like that. But to me, when you submit that order, that's what I want.
Yeah.
And so
we're gonna fulfill our part of the contract.
So we order the fabric, we do the production, we make the garment, we pack it up, we say, here's your shipment, it's ready to go. It's all here. It is. It costs however many $1,000. Crickets. You don't hear nothing. No, and you're like, okay, well, maybe they're just slow to respond. But you say that my email, you send them another email, you start calling them, they start ghosting you. Oh, I'll pay for it in a month. Okay, great. You wait for it a month, and a month later, you don't hear from them again. And it's like, this doesn't happen. Look, it happens all the time in the sense that, like, this is a very common problem. It's not like it happens every day. It's just, you run into these all the time. But it's like, you start to wonder, like, these retailers, if this is how they treat their vendors, like, how do they treat their customers? Mm-hmm. Like, it is very unprofessional to do something like that. And, like, you might find yourself in a bind where it's like, okay, I placed this purchase order, but I'm having trouble with my business. I can't afford it. And then in that respect, it's like, just tell me.
Yeah,
I have no problem. If you tell me you can't take this order, I can unpack the goods, I can sell them to somebody else. But if you tell me, oh, wait a month, wait 3 weeks, this and that, and then at the end you're like, ghost me or
Yeah.
you're just like, oh, I can't take it, you've screwed me.
Yeah. Like if you are actually negotiating with us to make an adjustment or cancel the contract that we made, which is the purchase order, then yeah, we'll be lenient, even though like, you know, it's you committed to it, but we're gonna be understanding. It's just that people who don't say anything, people who don't even take it as a contract, there's just like a casual thing, like, yeah, I'm gonna buy it. And then it's just that blows my mind, and it just kind of like some, you know, it's like people take this business way too casually. Is my problem.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. So yeah, it happens. And then I guess the follow up was not aware that do folks ever go the other way and want more than they asked for originally? Yeah. Happens all the time.
But that's part of the business.
Yeah.
Like our business is we want to allow customers to like, oh, this turned out to be a great product for us, then can we order more? And then we should be able to say yes.
Yeah.
To a certain extent.
Right. And like again, if you can't take something, if at the very least you tell me that you cannot take the order, then you're mitigating my damage.
Yeah.
But if you're ghosting me or, you know, kicking the problem down the road, you're increasing my problem, right? So that is something I certainly don't appreciate, but it is unfortunately all too common in our world.
And like, you know, tying back to what you said about like customer service, like consumer facing problems, like, you know, like consumer has a lot more power over brands sometimes, because they can, you know, go online and leave a bad review that might, you know, stir people away from shopping with us or something like that. You know, in a bigger scale, we don't care about like, you know, single reviews or whatever, but like they do have a like way to express their
dissatisfaction.
Yeah. Whereas like with, you know, on the B2B side of things, like there is no like rating of a retailer.
There's no rating of a customer.
Yeah.
Right. So it doesn't go the other way around.
Or vendor in that sense.
Right.
So it's kind of like, I feel like, you know, there's a lot of things are hidden and, you know, kind of put it in there.
And like, you know, somebody wrote, Owen wrote, saw a pair on Reddit earlier this week that apparently brand new, but literally exploded. Don't know the story, but this might be the pair. Yeah, I don't know about that one, but like, look, if you get a pair of jeans, we're very lenient with people. If you get a pair of jeans and if you have a problem with them, you know, relatively early in their life, you know, oftentimes we're just going to find a way to help you out. Right? Like that's because I want you to have a good experience with the product. And if we have to take a little bit of a hit so that you can, you know, maybe get things right in terms of sizing or whatever, fine. But there are certain things where it's like, you know, we try to find a reasonable solution to that situation. You know, I was dealing with a customer the other day, and it was like they were insistent that the denim was unsamforized. And I'm like, it's not. It's samphorized. And they're like, no, it shrunk this much. And I'm like, no, it didn't. And like they can't even provide measurements to like, you know, show this situation. And, you know, you get into like, and, you know, we're trying to be nice and, you know, find a solution for you. I'm like, look, okay, you got the wrong, like, to me, the bottom line was somehow you ended up with the wrong size. It wasn't our fault, but you ended up with the wrong size. So how can I get you into the right size? And it's like, you know, maybe it's offering you a discount or this, that, and the other thing, whatever it is, right? Let me just try to ease you in. But no, the absolute instance was, it was our fault. We're trying to screw them. And I'm just like, you know, how am I supposed to deal with this person, right? It's just, it's not fair. And then, you know, in turn, like maybe that person is going to go online and make a nasty post and, you know, write whatever perspective they have about it. And it's like, you know, I don't have the same leniency. To be fair, I could, right? If I wanted to, if I saw it and I wanted to respond to it, I could. But like, you know, I don't want to, you know, that seems petty in a way, right? But just looking at it, it's like somebody could write something really nasty and something like way out of line, and somebody who doesn't know goes online and they see that, and they might base their entire, you know, value of that brand based on that, you know, nasty post that they saw, which is completely unfair. Or somebody might, have a problem with something, post online about it. Oh, look at this issue that I have. And then, instead of like going to us first, and look, to be fair, if you have a problem with it, you can post it. I don't care. But, you go to us for a solution. We provide the solution. And then there's no like follow up on that original post where it was like, oh, actually, well, they helped me out. And, so all people are going to end up seeing is this issue that you may have had, which might have been caused by you, or maybe it was caused by us. I don't know, it certainly depends, but you don't get a lot of like, sometimes you just see the negativity, whereas like, I can't brag about like, oh, look at all this, stuff that we did for people, right? It's it would be weird if I were to just go on forums and be like, hey guys, look at this problem that I fixed, Yeah. So sometimes like if you have an issue, it's fine for you to post about it. But if you're dealing with us and we resolve your problem in a way that you're happy with, maybe it would be nice if you were to post a follow up to that so people can see that it's not just like, just all negative, right? So
it's funny. It's also like, comes down to individuals. Like most people, like just in general, like, most people are good-hearted people with a very logical sense of, what they're doing and, how you treat people and businesses alike. Because businesses are also a collection of people. And they're very, they're not an issue that we don't talk about it. But it's just the vocal minority. And, like you have a, like the other day I had a problem with a business and actually a person at a business, but it took me literally 1 year to bring up this issue to the business because I didn't want to be that customer, who was just unreasonable and, just complain about every single things. So I waited like a whole entire year. And at this point, like, it was just like countless cases of the same things happening. And it was just like, okay, finally, I have to say something because honestly, this is not a constructive, like, business relationship. I have to bring that up. Otherwise, like, it's not going to work going forward. But, it's just, like, to me, so, like, it's hard to understand people who are just going to, like, complain, like, just without thinking about anything logically. Like, you should write down what your problem is and sleep on it and look at that problem and ponder if it's worth like bringing up.
Yeah, it's tough. And like, this isn't, in some ways this is a fun topic to talk about because it's entertaining and sometimes negativity is entertaining. But, I don't want it to seem like we just want to rag on, the nasty people out there and that there's actually not a lot of them. There's very, very, for the amount of what we sell, it's a very, very small number of people. So, but anyhow, it is more entertaining. Karen mode activated, McCult writes. Yeah, it's exactly
but you just sometimes have to talk about it, and then it's not all bad. If it's actually an issue, we welcome you to bring up the issue.
And like, look, I know that when I was younger, I was probably of the how can I say it? As far as a customer to please, I probably was like some of these people, where I was very pushy because I felt like I had to be pushy in order to get my way. And through working in retail and experience, I learned that you didn't have to be this way. And maybe someone's going to see this message, hear it, and think, okay, you know what? Actually, you get a lot more with honey than you do with whatever the opposite of honey is. Vinegar. Vinegar is fine for. I don't know why vinegar is the go-to for the bad thing, but
it's not bad. It's just harsh.
Right. Fair enough. But maybe that's it'll help someone in that respect. Somebody wrote a good one. Kenny Ingram, I worked at Harry Rosen for around 3 years. The worst we got was a Hugo Boss briefcase that was used every day for around 10 years, returned after being brought in several times for repair. Another one, a Zegna triple stitch $1,000 shoes worn every day for around 4 years, returned again over a quality complaint.
Oh my God.
Look, I worked at Holt Renfrew. We definitely had issues like this all the time. I know that the Harry Rosen, I don't know how it is today, but I remember that the Harry Rosen return policy was, we'll take it anytime. And I specifically have a pair of motorcycle boots, moto boots that I bought out of Harry Rosen. I think I've talked about like one of my worst purchases ever. Yeah. I bought it out of Harry Rosen, very excited, brought them home, and I was like, what on earth? And was too embarrassed to even bring them back to the store. So they are sitting in my mom's basement.
You bring them back now.
I'm gonna bring them back to Harry Rosen. No, I wouldn't do that. You see, like to me, that like I have the shame to know that like that's a Bahzad mistake. That's not a Harry Rosen mistake. Even though Harry Rosen, maybe their policy is like, oh no, don't worry about it. Even then, I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
Nope. Oh. I'm not gonna. Look who it is, guys. It's the wonderful Snowy. We haven't seen him on a live stream in a while. So, anyways, nice to see you.
That's personal accountability. You have to be able to live with yourself. But like obviously Harry Rosen or any kind of big retailer have that kind of policy because you make more money at the end of the day with that policy than not, because some people take advantage, but the impact of some people is smaller than people who think like, oh, okay, that's a great assurance for me to buy this now and and continue shopping at the store. And sometimes you take advantage, but most likely you don't. So that's how they make money. But like if you're talking about independent businesses, each blow is very, strong. It's impactful. So, that's why like it's kind of hard to compete with big box retailers.
Yeah, but I also find that the big box retailers now they're just struggling.
That's true.
Many of them are just struggling, and
I think a lot of people learn to take advantage of that kind of lenient policies too.
I think so. And so somebody wrote here, you attract more flies with poo-poo. And I think sometimes bad policies attract the flies. And you have a lot of retailers in our realm, independent retailers and, better garment retailers who are taking up the mantle of, this is... our return, this is a final sale, but we have exchanges or our return window is small, 7 days, 14 days. Like it shouldn't take 90 days for you to figure out whether or not you like this item or not. That's a long time.
Yeah.
And I would also argue, when I worked on the sales floor at Holt Renfrew, like I think our return policy at the time was like 21 days or something like that to return. And, somebody would show up 3 months later with an item, that they wanted to return. And I, as a salesperson, you couldn't just override that, right? You had to get a manager's approval on it. And, the manager would approve it. And all of a sudden I lost, if it was my sale, I lose my commission on that item.
Right.
And it's like, it's not my fault. Mm-hmm. I did everything right. Mm-hmm. But the company, and I mean, this is a company problem, right? But the company is no problem. You lose your commission on that. I'm like, right. but I did everything
that
right.
Should come out of your own pocket only.
Right. If you want to go against the policy that you set, that's not, that shouldn't go against me. But anyhow, that being said, customer service is a very interesting part of our business, and it's mostly great. It's fun to whether it's helping somebody get the right size, help them understand about raw denim, what it is that we do, or even simply fixing a problem. Sometimes people have very unique problems that need a careful hand to solve, and we're glad that we're able to do that. It's certainly not something you're going to be able to find at a big box retailer or even an Amazon. If you have a sizing question, they're not going to help you with that. That's impossible. So we're happy that we're able to help the people that we can, and we do our best with difficult situations, and sometimes there's situations that are so unreasonable that we're just happy to say farewell. Maybe we're not the right partnership for you, and feel free to shop somewhere else.
Also, come to Japan and shop online. Or in stores. There is no return policy most of the time. Like unless it's like a defective item, then they take it back. But even that, like sometimes they're like within 7 days of receiving, like you have to bring it up. And it's like sometimes you don't even open the box for like 7 days.
One time we were at a knife store and I bought a knife and we didn't even leave the store and I saw another knife that I wanted even more and it wasn't. I was like, oh man, I'm like, will they take this back so that I could buy that one? And even then, well, they did it, but it was like, it was an issue. Like, they were like, what do you mean? Like,
can't give you your money back.
This is yours now. This belongs to you.
Yeah. Yeah. And it kind of, like, makes sense.
Yeah. I knew that it was going to be an issue. And I'm like, oh man. Anyhow.
But it's like, you have to take responsibility as a consumer. It's nice to be like cuddled by these like really generous policies, but you do have to take responsibility of your own actions. And every time you actually like check out, that should be like there should be an end to certain. There should be a finality in that to a certain degree.
Nicholas Brandon, my jeans aren't fading the way I want them to. Can I return them? Sometimes you get people who are like, these jeans are fading.
Oh yeah. People don't know.
Yeah. And we're like,
understand that.
I'm like, yeah, they're supposed to, and they're like, well, I didn't know that. I'm like, well, I mean,
yeah, no, but that's why like. I mean, we still, like, it's obvious, but we still put it in the care tag that, like, this is, dyed with indigo. It's going to fade. It has to be that way.
Yeah, so very, very interesting, problems you'll come up with every now and then. Okay. Nicholas writes, does Snowy know his jeans sold out super fast? Hope you guys gave him extra cat food. Cat nips. To celebrate. Yeah, he got a lot of extra snacks. Yeah. He's a good salesman, Snowy here. He just has to show up on live stream every now and then. Yeah. And he's gonna sell some jeans. Okay. Chief Miggy writes at The Raven, I agree. Vincent at Tate and Yoko was super helpful when I had an issue with my order. And The Raven writes, personally, Naked Famous customer service is my top 3 for best service. But that's just my opinion. Well, thank you guys. We hope that we're continuing to deliver the best customer service out there. We can't please everybody, but we certainly try our best.
Yeah, right. And don't feel like you can't bring up an issue if it's actually an issue. And like to listen to that. Just
right. Just if it's use your best knowledge, common. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but best judgment, where it's like, if your jeans ripped because you tripped and fell and they ripped,
embrace it.
Yeah, well, we can provide you with some ideas on how to fix or keep those jeans going, but if I've had these for 4 years and they ripped because I fell and because you clearly fell or whatever, or just because life happens. Like, it's not a reason to, like, I know this crowd isn't going to, come at me with that, but anyhow, those are the ones that always get me. I need to return these jeans ripped. I'm like, yeah.
We got to move on from that. Yeah.
We got to move on from that. Okay. You know what we got? Snack time.
Can you go get it? Because I have this.
You got a cat.
You got a cat. I got a cat. He's drooling on me. But he's looking very cute right now. Yeah, you don't see much of Caterpie on this live stream, but she's actually sleeping in the cat house shaped like a cat. Red Core Elephant, Dia de los Muertos, to my knowledge, the first ever raw denim to a Day of the Dead jeans fall winter collection. 24 will be one for the books. I think so. We go strong. especially in the fall time. But it's a pretty
stacked fall collection.
Yeah, because like we were consciously like reducing the amount of jeans that we were making each season, because we were making a lot for a while, and then this season, like I think we have
9, I think.
Something like that. We really like just lined up the top notch, and we dropped some like not so strong ideas.
Yeah, it's a greatest hits collection, that's for sure. Okay, snack time. Today we've got a fun and interesting drink to try out. I've never seen anything like this before, but it is chocolate tea latte, which I've never seen chocolate infused in tea before. Chocolate tea I've never seen. Chocolate tea latte. We'll see what this is all about. The English Enjoying Afternoon by the Duchess. Never mind. See, I was reading it a little wrong. The English custom of enjoying afternoon tea was introduced by the Duchess of Bedford.
Oh, Bedford.
So that's what it says over there.
All right. So basically this is like a mocha of tea.
The mocha tea situation. So we'll give this a shot. I don't know what to expect. Not expecting much.
It cannot be bad. It's gonna be good.
It can be served hot or cold.
Today we're enjoying it cold.
Yeah, let's shake it up a little bit. I see a little bit of chocolate at the bottom there, so
that's a good sign.
Yeah, it's a good sign that there is chocolate in this. Okay. Okay, okie dokie. Let's do a little pour out. It looks like milk tea with. Just looks like milk tea.
A little watered
down looking.
Yeah.
Smells chocolatey.
Very chocolatey. Like a syrup chocolatey, not like a cocoa.
Yeah, like a Hershey's.
Oh, it's not bad. It's like it's not thick. It's not like full flavor.
No.
It's definitely it's because you know why, like when you make a bottled drink like that are milky, there's not much actual milk, because it's milk is a very
goes bad.
Yeah, and also you can't put that much fat in these things, because then it would make crumbles.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No,
I think it's nice. It's like a watered down mocha drink.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's very watered down. It just tastes like a watered down mocha. That's exactly what it is. You nailed it. It is.
It doesn't have the full richness of the milk.
Yeah, and then you get a little bit of a tea aftertaste at the end there.
I don't mind it.
Not my favorite.
Because I can drink it like a drink rather than sometimes when you have like a mocha or like sweet drink, even sometimes some of the coffee drinks, it's a dessert in a liquid form. Whereas this one's more of a drink.
Just not strong enough for me. It doesn't have any flavor that is, really sticking out. It's everything is very mild and bland and. Yeah, I would much rather have just a regular bottled tea, or yeah.
Okay.
Right. Alec B writes, "Are you guys big tea drinkers?" I would say yes. We drink tea practically every day. Usually our day starts with coffee and then it ends with tea.
Yeah, and different kind of tea. We drink black tea.
Yeah. Hojicha tea.
We don't drink
tea.
Green tea as much at home, but I mean hojicha tea is green tea.
Right.
And oolong tea.
Yeah. So
I do like tea a lot.
Yeah, a lot of tea, a lot of caffeine. I do enjoy, but it doesn't really affect me. I could drink tea right before bed and it won't affect my sleep at all.
Caffeine in tea is much less than caffeine in coffee, right?
I think it's the same.
Is it the same? Interesting.
Yeah. KW writes, "I find most drinks in Japan to be a miss. The flavor isn't as strong as I would like. They're definitely less sugary. There's no question about, like, other than, like, Coca-Cola or something like that. Like, the bottled drinks, like, a lot of... To be fair, you go into a convenience store and it's, like, half of it is bottled tea, water, tea, or, like, bottled coffee. And, like, a lot of it is sugarless. And then you do have your sugar varieties, and then you have, like, your sodas and things like that. But
the sugar one, like the ones... There was enough, like, mid-sugar coffee also, like, the we call it Bito. It's, like, a not fully sugar-loaded. Yeah. There's somewhere in between. And that's, to me, that's really sweet already.
Yeah. But, yeah, there's a lot less sugar in that respect there. No question about it. Ted writes, I got my first wear in my Elephant 11 S's yesterday, and I gotta say, they're definitely my favorite jeans now. Fantastic. We hope that you enjoy them. I know that Terry was wearing those for quite a while. I would like to see an update on those.
Yeah.
Also, speaking of thieves, because we talked a little bit earlier about thieves, if you are in possession of Terry's truck,
Terry's red Jeep?
Yeah, we would like you to return it immediately. Just return it and then turn yourself into the police afterwards for stealing said truck. Yeah, Terry.
He did not have a good week.
He had a bad week because of that. I totally understand. I think everyone would. But yeah, if you are in possession of Terry's red Jeep, return it and then turn yourself in for being a bad boy because you are a bad boy.
It would be amazing if that person was watching this live stream.
Yeah. If you are, we're gonna ban you from the website too. You're not allowed to shop with us anymore. Not allowed to steal from Terry.
No.
Okay, last one. Leonardo Roca, have you guys heard of Boxu Snack Box? It's a box with Japanese snacks. Yeah, I've seen those ads on the internet, but obviously living here, less important for us to purchase because we can just buy snacks anywhere. But they do have they have like an online subscription service if you want to buy get Japanese snacks delivered to your door.
Yeah.
Not sponsored by them, but
it's a good idea. I mean, like it's obviously like delivered to you overseas, so like it's inflated in price and you know all of that. So we just go to our local snack stores.
Every store here has got Japanese snacks. So there you have it, everybody. The first live stream back from not being streaming for 2 weeks. So hopefully it was entertaining for you. It was fun for us to hang out with all of you guys once again. And before you go, don't forget, hit the like button. Let's get those likes up, and let's subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Risa and I will be back here again next Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern for the weekly Naked Famous Denim live stream, the greatest live stream in the history of the internet. We're streaming live from Yokohama, Japan. We'll see you guys next week. Do something nice for yourselves and do something nice for somebody else. And if you have Terry's Jeep, return it. That's an order.
That's a nice thing you can do for Terry.
That's
Although
you stole it.
Him wrong.
So after that, go to the police and turn yourself in for being a bad boy.